Namaste and good evening, all. Electricity. It is not only a big part in our daily lives, but in modern lives, it is the most important thing. Industries depend on it. Communications, as in the form of radio, television, email, internet, etc., you cannot do anything without it. During the lockdown, there were jokes कि खाना मिलना चाहिए, बिजली होनी चाहिए और इंटरनेट होना चाहिए, बस बाकी सब मैनेज हो जाएगा. However, people across the country got very high electricity bill during the lockdown period. Some consumers complained that the increase were somewhere between 5 to 15 times what their usual electricity bills were. And as per some news articles, the increase in electricity, the bills that companies and people had received was as more as up to 50% from their usual or the normal bills that they were getting. Well, there was some explanation given to this that since during this period of 91 days for which the bills were generated, the whole family was inside the house all the 24 hours, and hence there was higher consumption, because of which the bills were high. However, what about the factories, the industries, which were closed and still got very high, very seriously high and inflated bills? Among the various reasons, one important reason was the kVAh billing that was started by the Maharashtra government from April 2020. Friends, I am Jyoti Prakash from Visol Renewable Energy Solutions, your green energy partner. And today, in our series, Talks with Solar Pioneers, we have with us Mr. Sachin Kampani, the energy expert who will help us understand the reason for the inflated electricity bills and how to reduce with special focus on the industries. Sachinji, we welcome you.
Thank you, Jyoti. The first thing is that the billing cycle, the way electricity board bills has totally changed from 1st April.
Sure,
So,
sure.
so
I'm sure people would love to know about this change, how it is affecting their bills. But before we go on to that, let me share a brief experience and profile of Sachinji with all our friends and viewers. Sachinji, he has completed his BCom and did his journalism from St. Xavier's College in Mumbai. He was interested in the field of electricity and has been in the electrical field since 4 years, 14 years from now. Not 4 years, it has been 14 years from now. 14 years now. He has been instrumental in setting up an energy monitoring system that can monitor electrical usage and send live reports to your mobile and laptops. He has also helped people save a lot of money, making them understand their electricity bill and take the correct action on it. He lives by the philosophy spare a watt, save a lot. So, talking about with his experience of all these 14 years and the many short courses that he has done on electrical and IoT devices, Sachinji, I'll start by asking you uh, basically, since you are an energy analyst with industry, what do you want to say about the latest enhanced electricity bill that the industries have received?
see, basically, I feel the most important point where industries are failing is because they do not give more importance to their bill. Basically, they are so busy in their day-to-day lives, that day-to-day work that is there. The focus on the electricity bill is not there, and they get the bill after a month, and after that what happens is they get a shock that my bill is so much, and they are not realizing that they need to check on a daily basis what the electricity bill is. So so we have set up an energy monitoring system, and I think in these times where from April 1st for high tension industries, it has become from kWh billing to kVAh billing. So what has happened here is that earlier there were some penalties which were put, but now the number of units get increased, and because of that like I'll show you an example ahead, that how much of tariff, or how much of your electricity goes. Somewhere it is also goes to about 25 to 30%, and somewhere it can also go up to 70%. So it all depends on how you are using your electricity.
Can you explain to our viewers how this calculation of kVAH billing is done?
Yeah, I will need, I'll just share you a slide and I can
Sure,
explain you,
sure.
yeah,
Yes.
how to do this. Okay, so you can see this slide now.
Yes, yes.
This one.
I think
It
some
is, yeah,
activation
yeah,
failed.
it's not happening. Yeah,
Maybe,
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
it is working. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So kVAH billing. Now I'll explain you how this functions now. Now this is a beer analogy. It is the most common one that is used generally. So now the electricity board is supplying you the power in kVA. Now what does kVA means? V is for voltage. Voltage is the pressure that the electricity is coming through, and amps is the, like you say a pipe, so the
Mhm.
pressure of the water is volts, and amps is the power. The water inside is the amps, is the power. So that is what kVA. So this much kVA is what the total power that the electricity board is giving, this full it is giving. Okay. And what happens is, like in a beer, like now this full beer glass, this much is the power that is given by the electricity board. And here what happens is that there are two types of powers actually. One is the active power and the other is the reactive power. Active power means that whatever machinery, whatever power that you're using is 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 active power. And anything that gets, there is there is something where there is a loss
Mm-hmm.
when you on a motor. There is a loss in the electricity power, like in the beer. Just one minute. Like in beer here, like the kVAR, the froth is the loss. That
Okay.
means that whatever power today I'm getting, my machines are making some losses that represent the froth.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, the MACB, the electricity board, is only charging you for the active power till now. So they had kWh metering. Now what they say is that even for the loss that you are making, we will bill you. So now they are turning it to kVAH billing.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
like हमने आपको पावर दिया है, आप यूज करो या लॉस करो, you are going to.
Yeah, earlier what it was, that the loss that you were making,
Hmm.
they would put a penalty and bear the loss.
Okay.
But now it is saying that we have given you so much energy. If there is a loss, then we are not responsible. So
Mm-hmm.
generally what happens is, like suppose any revolving motor that is there.
Hmm.
So the power is coming to the motor. Okay.
Right.
And that power is pushed on to the load, whatever, may it be a fan or whatever. There is a magnetic field.
Correct.
Now there is a certain part of the power that remains in that magnet of the of the in between, which is there. That's called the reactive load. So
Okay.
that power has to be minimized. So probably this fraud that you're seeing, that has to be minimized if you want to achieve proper electricity, so that whatever you're consuming, that much you're paying. So
Basically, all that you are taking from the grid, use it
you
properly.
use it properly. You don't have to have this reactive power. You have to
Right.
get out of this reactive power. Now the percentage of the reactive power that is there is called the power factor.
Okay.
So suppose you're using here, it is showing like 75% is the 25% is the loss over here. So they calculate your power factor as 1. This whole thing is taken as 1, and they will say now they are running at 0.75 of power factor. So that 25% is the loss, and 0.75 is what they are doing it. So that is how it is calculated.
Okay.
So it now everything depends on your power factor. So if your power factor is not close to 1,
Mm-hmm.
that means they will now that much percentage. Suppose your the reactive power is 25.25, so 25% your units will be increased, and you will have to pay 25% more on your electricity bill. And it is not a small thing, it's a very very big thing, because it can take off your bills like to real high limits. So many people are not aware of it. And like I told you, the electricity bill is the last part where you look at. Till they are very very high bills, then at least you try and get it to 0. See, 1 is not achievable, many people say, but you can get it to 0.99. And
Okay.
you can reduce this reactive power by putting capacitors or a APFC panel. So it's an automatic panel that adjusts and tries to get it to 1. So whatever energy that you are getting, that much is used in active power, and they reduce the reactive power. So
Okay.
so this is how you have to actually basically, this is how the power factor is very very important. And so there are two ways of billing, the two factors. One is the the power factor, and the other is the demand charge. Power factor plus, yes, plus the units that you are using generally. But this is what the whole kVAh billing is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So I'm sure if I hope I'm clear on this.
Yes, yes, very much.
Yeah,
Very much.
yeah.
Okay. Also, you intend to say that the most important factor that is actually affecting the billing, the current billing, it is the power factor because of which all this inflation is happening, right?
Yeah, yes, yes. I will just show you. I will show you the billing. I'll show you how kVH and how it was earlier in my next slide. Now here, if you see, this is kWh billing. This is a bill of January
Okay.
2020. All
Okay.
right. So this is a high tension uh, industry. It is using 2,76,300 units. Okay, in kWh.
See, okay. Mm-hmm.
Right. So here also, if you see industrial, you see on the tick mark in industrial, you will see 2,76,360, and the rate is 7 rupees. Right.
Right.
So that is how it is charged. It's charged at kWh. Right.
Right.
And alongside there is, I have shown you the mark called demand charges, where it is 3,12,018
The
on the
March.
right
Okay.
side. On
Yes.
the right hand side.
Right.
So so now you can just see over here that these two are the major factors that actually take your bill high. So now I'm explaining you the. I'll come back to this slide again, but as of now I'm just explaining you this kWh. And on the right side, if you can see near 2,76,000, you can see kVAh billing. It was
kVH.
three.
Yes.
Yeah, it is 3,04,800. But the billing is not done on 3,04,000. Here the billing is done on 2,76,360. You can see that, right?
Right.
So now in the very next bill I'll show you, this is what has happened now to the same company in April. In April we were in lockdown. Okay,
Correct.
so the demand charges, if you see, is zero. This is the incentive given by the government that they will not charge demand charges. Demand charges is basically some amount of they will charge you 50% of your sanction load anyhow, even if you don't use energy.
Yeah.
That is demand charges.
I wanted to ask you what is demand charge
Yeah.
exactly?
So here this time they have said that since for the 3 or 4 6 months they will not charge demand charges, since
Okay.
because the lockdown was total at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So they have given that rebate to the industries, But however, if you see here, the kWh billing is 59,235.
Correct.
And if you see kVAh billing, it is 1,96,605. So that is almost
Difference.
triple the amount of the units that is used.
Correct.
And if you see the power factor here, you will see a power factor. I put a dot there.
Three
Its average power factor, average PF is 0.30.
point three zero. Yeah.
So here the 70% of the there is wastage, and 30. So if you see the beer, so it's almost the opposite. The beer content is very little and the froth is lot. That's 70%. So that is how the units have increased. If you see from 59,235 to, so if you calculate, if 60,000 is your units into 7, you would get about 4,20,000 ka bill.
Yeah.
The bill over here comes to 13 lakhs 60,000 on the right side if you see the charges around. So you can, and here,
Energy
suppose,
charges you're talking about?
yeah, the industrial charges,
Yeah.
besides the units that you can see,
Mhm.
when they're multiplied by 7, it turns to
Okay.
1,36,167. Those are the energy charges, right? And now if they had not given that rebate of demand charges, they would have even charged 3 lakh rupees additional to
Additional.
this, additional to this. So this is the, it's a shocking thing, but this is what has happened to industries, and they have realized it very much later, because see, everything was closed,
Hmm.
and then these bills have come, and this is and they were really shocked by the kVAh billing. Till that time they had heard about it,
Correct.
but this is has been a real shocker for them. So I hope in these two billing you can actually see that what is kWh and kVAh.
I was
Also,
noticing the total amount that the customer has been billed for. I remember it was, if you go to the previous slide, if we can share the amount for, yes. So here I'll just mention customer has been billed for 20 sorry 2,76,000 approximately number of units as per the KWH, and he's supposed to pay 27,42,000.
yeah, yeah.
And we see delayed payment charges ko chhod de, agar base payment it is showing 27, if people can see 27,42,000. And if we go to the next slide that of yours, I noticed that the total billed amount is like 36 lakhs.
No, no, 36 lakhs is there, but it has in some outstanding. So its total bill is actually 16 lakh 20,000. But you see the
Okay.
number of units. Actually, his units are just
Very
60,000.
less. Correct.
It is just 60,000, 59,235. But he's billed for 1 lakh 96,000 when he's not used that
When
energy.
you not use the energy.
And this is what now also I would like you to see on top of this bill where this RKVAH lead is written. It is like 30,338. You see? Uh,
Where can you please?
on top there's a dot on the top of the
Okay,
red.
RKPH
Yeah,
billing.
so
Yes.
your 30,338
Mm-hmm.
is mentioned over there, right?
Correct.
And see, this is the problem that is having the lead factor that is increased quite a bit. So this through a capacitor, this can be reduced. So
Mm-hmm.
some, either there is some fault in the capacitor or some APFC panel which has led to something like this. And so here what happens in an energy monitoring system where you can daily view your power factor, so it becomes, this kind of a thing should not happen. Here it is just because people don't see it, don't view it, don't give so much and anyways, for during the lockdown they'll get the bill after a month.
Fact,
But
yes.
if you have an energy monitoring system, you can see it daily. So no, you know your power factor. If it is falling, you can get it corrected, but here you can't do anything of it.
Sachinji, I would like you to repeat how this power factor can be maintained to the requisite level. You mentioned some time ago, but
Yeah, yeah. See,
can you just
basically,
repeat it? Or
basically, I told you there is this thing called the reactive power. Now, this reactive power can be reduced. Like there is a magnetic field I told you, and that power remains in that. Besides, most of the power goes to the load, but in the magnetic field there is this reactive power. This reactive power we need to reduce,
Hmm.
and this is done through capacitors.
So this is, and how do you calculate the capacity of the readings or the ratings of the capacitor?
So that is as per the machine and as per the calculation they do that. And after that, what happens is there is also an automatic panel that comes that
Hmm.
automatically gets this reactive power reduced. So how accurate capacitors you put, in that way you can get this to 0.99. And when you get it to 0.99, then almost that zero point 0.1 loss can, so always kVAh billing will be higher than the kWh,
Hmm.
but still the percentage
At
will be
least
very
some,
very little.
some balance can be maintained.
Yeah, so now it is very very important for an industrial user to actually see his bill, and that is the most important part in today's times. And they'll have to give importance to this, that I have to see my electricity bill and I have to save, because I think the lockdown has told them how much saving is important.
Correct.
And to because and during this lockdown they have been paying this kind of bills, and with no work.
Actually,
Yeah. So
actually,
I think the electricity board should have considered this also and delayed this process, but they
we
have delayed it for the LT users, for low tension
okay,
industries who are
okay,
using less power. They have reduced it. So any three phase motor, three phase people who are using above 5 kilowatt, for them it is important to check their energy.
okay. I'll repeat. Any user who is using a three-phase connection and the sanction load you meant is more than 5
But if it is using more than 5
more than 5 kilowatt.
kilowatt,
Please
so he
check
has to
this.
see the electricity bill. They have to check out how
Right.
much is the, generally for residential it's 0.9.
Okay.
And so they have some kind of reactive power, but in industries it goes more because there's so many motors, there's so much of it.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I guess the machinery maintenance, the motors need to be serviced and maintained properly, right?
Yes, yes. The other part about is, yeah, to get this reactive power down, they have to have it serviced, and they can't. It suppose it takes 10 amperes, and if this reactive power is more, it will start taking 11 amperes. So automatically your electricity bills are going to go high.
Correct.
So if you get them, keep them serviced well, it will help. Later soon there's something called harmonics also, and the electricity board has some plans of putting charges for on harmonics also. But as of now, the whole thing is your power factor, and you have to take care of it, and you have to have your bills in hand, and you have to have some kind of energy monitoring, and some reports you need to have. So
What
what's happening?
else? What else do you think can be done? It is actually, it is very high, really a high time where you work on your electricity bills. As you said, एक तो काम नहीं हो रहा है, factories बंद पड़े हैं, and then instead of getting the regular bills, you are getting inflated bills. What else do you think that people should do, especially the industry owners, to be more energy efficient?
Yeah, I think renewable energy like solar is very, very good. First of all, what happens with solar is that you are getting free energy. Now, yeah, the cost of solar plant is there.
Installation cost is there, but
Yeah, but up to 25 years, if you calculate, so it just comes to about 3 rupees. We are paying, somewhere we are paying 7 rupees, and we are paying 14 rupees. So if you calculate on an average, it comes to 3.5 with taxes. And also, I think a solar plant is the time. It is the time now that they should go for a solar plant, and that will reduce even your demand charges at certain points. I can explain you here also. I'll
yes,
explain you the
yes,
demand charges part of it. So now one part is you are seeing how your units get increased in kVAh billing,
right.
and now the other part is your demand charge. I'll take you back to the bill.
Yes, sure.
So now I'll tell you in kWh billing. Now if you see below where you have that TOD zone,
Correct.
and you see those you will see a demand over there. So they have given you the timing, and they will show you the highest demand at any point of time. So you will see 589, then you see 798. So you come to know that between 6 to 9 and 12 to 18, your demand load is 798. All right.
Okay.
Then there is 760. So this is the average demand load, and so the highest demand load, that is 798. So that they will, if you see on the uh, build demand kVA on the big line that I have drawn below that, so you will see 798 into 391. So that comes to 3,12,018. So that is the demand charge. So this is about a 1500 uh, plant, kVA plant. So uska demand charge 50% they have to pay. Even if they use, they don't use, they will have to pay that much. But now the highest demand here is 798.
Mm-hmm.
So the 798, that is the peak demand. Now during this time, if you use your solar over here, so
Exactly.
here if you can reduce your during these times where 798, 760 and 765, if here you use solar energy and you can reduce this demand charge, and in that you can save your fixed charges as well. And what is how does demand actually how does this there's a static current, when as you start your machine,
Hmm.
the machine will start and take a lot of power. So there are
Correct.
certain
It is
machines that take the demand very much high at that point of time, so you need to reallocate and see which are those machines, and then you have to take appropriate action on it. So this is how demand is also calculated. Now, thanks to the electricity board that they have given this rebate. Otherwise, since April, this would have been a real problem. Yeah. So
seriously.
already there is one problem of kVAh, and now they are not ready to bear any loss. Now it will soon come to low users also, where they'll have to pay as per kVAh. And many, it is only Maharashtra. All over India, many places there is already kVAh billing since a long time, but
Okay.
we are new to it. We are new to it, and we don't know much about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it is affecting that way the entire country. I mean, every
Yes,
state
yes, and people don't know about it.
people don't
Like
know about it.
we had an exhibition in Delhi in December, and where we have shown it to many industries, and they were shocked about it because they had no idea what way, like they have been built. Like here is built.
Yeah,
Uh,
so am I looking at the
yeah,
slides of yours.
yeah, and this is the 1 month billing, so you are paying about 7-8 lakhs rupees extra for not even using. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Yes,
Actually, it's actually
yeah,
crazy.
yes. So
Uh, Sachin ji just mentioned about solar, how it can affect your electricity bills as the per unit rates, the grid tariff, the tariff becomes very less. It comes down to almost 2.5 to maybe 3.5, between 2.5 to 3.5 rupees per unit. If you take an average of the bill of 25 years, the cost over a period of 25 years. So there is another. This is when you have invested. There is a option where you can invest in your plan. There is also an option where some third party can invest in your plan. Can be a bank or some investor. This is called the BOT model. So, just talking about it, I'll just give a brief explanation that in BOT model, as I said, the client does not invest. Either you can take a loan from the bank or the investor is going to invest. Now, here you will be paying. If suppose you have taken a loan from the bank, you will be paying some the EMI similar to some other loans that you have taken, and this EMI amount is going to be equal to the electricity bill that you are monthly paying. Okay, and for this will be only for a agreed period of maybe 5 years or 7 years or even 1 year if you are okay with that. Post that, it is your plant, the energy is generated, you are consuming it, and only the thing that you have to do is maintain it. Otherwise, no additional charges. The other one we talk about is wherein you don't have to invest anything, which is called the build, operate, and transfer model, the BOT model, where the investor invests in the plant and the consumer, he pays per unit tariff less than what he's actually paying to the grid. So if he's paying say 7 rupees or 8 rupees or 9 rupees to the grid, he can as well pay 4.5 or 5.5 rupees per unit to the investor for a agreed duration of 10 or 15 years. And post that, the plant is that of the consumer, free, doesn't have to pay anything to anybody, only the maintenance has to be taken care of. So there are various ways wherein you can adopt solar and it can actually reduce your electricity bill. Sachinji, I'll come back to you. What if people don't have sufficient roof on their sufficient space on their roof, which is very important for solar power plant?
Yeah, basically what happens is, suppose you can go in for a lower plant as well, and if you don't have space, now there are various, I think there are various companies that are giving you the solar a facility, and from their space they will generate that electricity, and you can take the advantage of that. So that also has started now.
So
and
that
I,
option.
and I think also the government wants the people to go solar, and there is a big mission that is going on, that they have to do so much of plants in India.
Yeah,
uh,
actual solar
yeah, but
panel.
the whole thing is the industry own in the owner of the factory owner has to realize this,
Correct.
and he has to take action. See, basically what happens is the action is not taken, and month after month he keeps paying that, and then once it becomes too much, then he starts for action. So by that time, lot of thing is
Already.
already, lot of amount is gone, and it's very difficult. See, yeah, electricity board is a big entity.
Hmm.
It's a little difficult for an individual factory owner to fight with the board,
Correct.
and it's a long process here. So we have to be about a little stringent on our bills and see that proper action is taken.
Very true. Fighting with the state electricity board, it is the results, even if they come very, very late. I mean, like, and
Yeah.
spend too much of time and energy on that. उससे अच्छा है कि आप पहले ही अपने bills का ध्यान रखो.
Yes, and you have to have your complaint. So whatever complaints that you do, you have to have them. You have to have a panel of complaints. Basically, you have to have be ready that that suppose I'm billed high, or I will take the challenge and at least complain, and you have to have that interaction going on, because if you are running a big industry,
Hmm.
you have to know that even if if you are built and something is not wrong, going wrong, you have to look for the corrective action. Though it may take time, but
Correct.
you just can't let it go.
We
You
should
have
not
to
let
fight
it
it
go.
out. Yeah, you have to fight it out. And if
I think a better option would be to get an energy analysis done in time. So, Sachinji, if you can explain and
Yeah,
help our viewers
see, and
understand.
see, on energy monitoring, it's a system where all your power factor and all your details about your voltage, your amperes comes on your mobile and laptop. You can see it daily. You can see where your demand hikes are, spikes are. So you get all that on a press of a button.
Hmm.
So in today's time, it has become a necessity to have these details with you, and so that at the end of the month, when you compare your bill, you have something to actually look for and compare with, and there you get an idea that, and you have to have suppose if you reduce suppose here, if he reduces his demand charge from, say, it's not, now here you just see in this bill his demand charge was 428, 416. So here it was about 820. Here was how much it is. Okay, that 625 here. So if we can reduce, here you can see it is 625, and here it is 798. So there is a scope of reducing your demand charge. So that if you can do, so your fixed charge can reduce. So if you know how, when and where your demand is increasing, you can reduce your bills.
So basically, check your electricity bills, learn and understand where things are going wrong, and get an energy analysis done.
Yes, yes.
Very, very important for industries who are paying really high. Well,
And we
this
we
was
we are also offering, as a help, we are offering uh, you to check your 6 months billing, and we can guide you. And then later, if you want, you can go for energy auditing, energy monitoring system, or whatever. But we can guide you. You can send us your bills. We are open to help you and see where, if anything has gone wrong. So that services are there. You can go for a solar. We can give you free consultancy on that, and we can guide you.
friend Sachinji, the energy expert, is here for to
Yeah.
help you with your
So it's a
bills.
basically it's a saving. Like now, you really need to save on your money, and you can't let it go waste like that.
Actually, it's hard-earned money, and especially during these times where, as we discussed earlier, the economies everywhere is being hit so hard.
Yeah,
You can't.
I'm sure there are so many of we are going into make in India, and there are so many industries, and I'm sure many of them don't know about this. And I no, but some of them have. I have seen that they have put AFPs, these panels for the power factor. I have seen many put it also. So, but now it is a necessity. You have to put an automatic panel, yes, to
I
save on
guess
your
even if
electricity.
some people, I guess the percentage of people who are have installed these panels are monitoring. From your discussion and from your experience, I understand that that percentage is very, very less, and it needs to go up.
Yes, and also sometimes what happens, they don't function also properly. The capacitors
Okay.
don't function properly. So here again, the energy monitoring system will let you know that your capacitors are not working and you're getting a low PF. So
Okay.
that is another advantage that you can, like in this case, they have a panel, automatic panel there, but something's gone wrong.
Hmm.
And they have not been able to figure out.
Okay, that also can be
Yeah,
monitored.
yeah. If this was figured out, they would have corrected that at that point of time. They would not have had to pay this. Yes.
Well, that was a lot of information, Sachinji. I would, thank you, and I would say thank you for sharing all this information. I'm sure people are going to understand it more better why the bills are inflated. And as we all know, electricity is a necessity, and I'm sure everybody would like to pay as little as they can. And friends, yes, you can do it by performing this energy monitoring, energy efficiency monitoring system that is available. Energy efficiency simply means using less energy and green energy to perform the same task. That is eliminating the waste energy, which Sachinji explained. Now, while generating this energy also and while using this energy also, if there is a waste happening, then there is a loss. And this is a commercial loss, this is a financial loss, loss to you, loss to the whole of the country. Energy efficiency brings a variety of benefits. It reduces the greenhouse gas emission. It reduces the demand on energy import, which is so important for our country. As Sachinji just mentioned, now when we are all, there is a lot of focus on by the government, and people also want to go into manufacturing as many things, the Atmanirbhar concept of manufacturing all that you need. If you want to put up industries, if you want to go into manufacturing system, energy usage has to be efficient. Lowering the cost, it, of course, if your power factor is less, your cost comes down, and it helps not just the household but the entire economy wide level gets help from it. By going energy efficient, we can reduce a huge loss in the electricity, which can be used by the energy deficient towns and villages. अभी भी गांव है जहाँ पे कनेक्शन लगा हुआ है बट वोल्टेज नहीं है या लाइट भी नहीं है, देयर इज सो मच ऑफ लोड शेडिंग. All the energy which we will be able to which we will be able to save will be then passed on to these areas. So you can in your very small way save money and contribute to making India achieve energy security. क्यों है ना ये अच्छी बात? So, friends, on that note, Sachinji, thank you so much for sharing all the information and taking time out for us today.
Most welcome, and I again plead the industry owners or factory owners to take action today so that they save on their, because your saving starts right now.
Correct. Very
Yes,
important.
yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Sachinji. With that, we will take leave for today. Friends, thank you for watching us. I hope all this information helps you and helps you take a step towards saving energy. Thank you so much.